Hey everyone, Sergei here from ukramedia.com and welcome. I see a lot of you are coming in, but today is an exciting day. Well, I'm kind of tired actually. I stayed up probably till about 3 in the morning, and so if I'm a little slow, I'm sorry. By the way, make sure you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can see me, hear me. That would be a good indication. Anyway, welcome everybody. Jeff, Cecil, I'm not sure how to pronounce. I see Steve is on there. We have Emil, Vladimir, Chenwit, all kinds of people coming in. So welcome. Again, it's just me jumping on here, kind of just show you what I've been working on. I realize I don't do enough of that. I always show the end results, but I think it's fun, like showing the journey of how I arrived there. So that would be good. Let me know if you guys can hear me. UK. All right. Hey, Sergey. Okay. Here. Okay. Thank you, Steve. All right. I'm going to stick around for just a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer to make sure everybody gets here. But I've been doing some coding. You know, it's so cool. You know, when you work on different projects, you move from doing something creative, then 3D like Blender, our course. I don't know if you've heard about it. We created a course on Blender. We did some motion graphics, sports motion graphics in Blender. You should definitely check it out at ukramedia.com/Blender. So that's something I'm very passionate about. So I've been doing like After Effects, some 3D, and now I'm going back to coding, which is kind of fun. You know, when you get bored with one, you kind of move to the other one, then the other one. Now, I've actually been designing the UI for smartREKT at just 3 in the morning. You know, you can draw some stuff. But I just kind of want to show you my process, how I do things. But I'm going to wait just one more minute. Anthony, welcome. We have Daniel from Canada, I believe. I've seen his French tutorials. Very cool. Michael Kelly, 42 Media Delivery, PL's Connors. Anyway, Dwayne, welcome everybody. All right. So let me show you what the new smartREKT looks like. If you're not familiar with smartREKT, it's a script that I wrote a while back, a year ago, actually yesterday. I think yesterday was our anniversary. It was weird that I'm back at it today. And Blender, Steve, sorry, man, squirrel. Anyway, I just realized that I didn't fully, I started working on the smartREKT 2.1 for a while. I remember on the way to Spain, I was working on it on the airplane and then at the hotel there. And then at NA, when I was on the way to NAB, I was also working on it. It was kind of like an airplane project. I was just kind of getting back into it. And I never did finish it. So I realized that I need to do that. But let me show you what it looks like. You can see right here, I've gone through a lot of revisions, and I think it's this one. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, that's what it looks like when you first pop it up, but it's not all. You would have to scroll. You kind of reveal everything else in here, but I'm trying to make it more enjoyable. Before, if you've seen the old one, it's just not very intuitive. It was a drop-down menu. Pablo, welcome. I just saw that, sorry. Action VFX, welcome. I was actually wearing your shirt. I don't have it on anymore. Ukramedia, sorry, but I was wearing the Action VFX shirt. Again, squirrel, I apologize. I'm going to stay focused. All right, so this is what the UI looks like. Again, I was kind of like playing at 3 in the morning, trying to come up with the UI, how to make it look. But and let me show you what my Illustrator, this is how I do stuff. Like I just kind of design stuff in Illustrator, you know, kind of to see what things might look like with certain backgrounds, and I try to do something like this, but then I'm like, nah, that would take too much space. Maybe something more of like an icon kind of thing. This would be like a automatic kind of script, auto size script, and this would be like a mask, like a masking and the parent, right? So I kind of use these icons to kind of, you know, to gain some real estate. And let me go back to After Effects. Okay, so that's what kind of arrived. That's how I arrived there. And scripting in general in After Effects is so much fun. I enjoy it. Like I can spend like hours and hours of doing it. But then, you know, the same thing for size. I try to keep it like an icon. You know, size for X. You know, for the width. As you can see, you can hover over it. It tells you, and the height, so you can quickly tell what kind of size you want. And then the margins. These again are more. They might change. So this is just me like telling you where I'm at right now. So this is squirrel. Nice one. I saw what you did there. All right, but this is how it works. For example, this thing creates a smartREKT, like a shape. It's a shape layer, rectangular shape layer. The same thing as you would do here, right? But the problem with that I had in the past is just, you know, you can only pivot point from the center. It just, you have to do some coding to kind of get any kind of advanced things going, and it just takes time. And we all know time is money. So I created smartREKT for myself, and then I'm like, hey, I'll open it up to you guys as well. So the way this works, you just click on pivot point. For example, you want a shape that's pivot point at the top left corner. You just click on it, and then it should create it. Oh, it broke it. 1 second. I opened up the wrong one. I apologize, guys. 1 second. After Effects crash. No, it needs to be stopped. All right. As you can see, it's fresh. I literally finished it up, or this is where I'm at as of this morning. But let me do the last one. Here we go. So this one is no bueno. Let's get rid of it. There you go. The beautiful thing about live, you get to see my mistakes. All right. As you can see, you click on it, and it does the same thing. What's going on? Ah, I got rid of this. No. Yeah, see, you guys get to see this stuff. So let me do this. Let me open up a version before that. There you go. Let's see if this works. All right, let's try this now. All right, it works now. So I guess I got rid of some stuff. As you can see, coding can be fun. But this one, you know, it creates a shape based on wherever you clicked. So if you, let's say you wanted to create a shape that's kind of sizing from like top right corner, you click on it, and it creates a shape from that top right corner. Then you can kind of extrude. I mean, that's nothing new. That's exactly what we had before. But before it was a drop-down menu. It was kind of annoying. You had to kind of, you know, one too many clicks, and that was annoying for sure. And then now you can obviously click this, but you can also type, you can use text. For example, if I type something like Sergei Pro and, you know, maybe duplicate it a few times, something like that, try different text, something like this maybe, right? Now I can just select all of them and go to make sure I'm using the right one. Okay, this one, I can select this icon in here and just say, hey, give me one that's, you know, the anchor point is in the center. As you can see, it quickly creates it. But the cool thing about this auto thing, once you highlight it, you can change the text. You know, you can type whatever you want, and it will adjust the shape. And not only that, hold on, let me do this. Let me bring it up. Not only that, you can select the shape, and you can add top, bottom, left, and right margins. So you can quickly add things like this in no time. If you've done anything like this in After Effects, you know how tedious it is. I mean, you can, again, double click in here, adjust all kinds of stuff, and things, again, work flawlessly. So again, but the cool thing about this shape is that you don't have to play around with the size, because obviously the size derives from the text, but you can also animate the X scale, right? You can kind of animate it like this easily, right? And then if you say, hey, I want it to be sizing, instead of from the center, I want it to be sizing from this corner right here. Let's do middle or center right? So you can see pivot point went from here to that, the anchor point, and then now I can size it and it'll go from that side, right? So that's cool. So that's definitely useful. Let's see. Oh my God, yes, shapes. John is here, welcome. All right, so let me do this again. Let me undo all of this. Now, the cool thing about this, you can create things instantly. For example, if I create a lower third, I'm going to say something like Sergei Proc Nevsky. Or actually, let's use one of you guys here. Let's do the guy whose name I can't pronounce. Let's try this. All right, that one, and then we're going to say awesome dude, something like that, right? And that's going to be his title. And then we're going to size it down, you know, maybe pull it up something like this, right? We're going to create a lower third. Now, if I had to do this, you know, to create a lower third takes time, right? So with smartREKT, and make sure I don't want this one, so it's this one. All right, I can say, all right, I want auto size, so I'm going to select that. So it's going to be, you know, adjusting, resizing to the text. So if I want to change it later, it's going to be fine. Then I want for it to automatically apply mask to my shape, which you'll see here in a second. And on top of that, I want it to be parented to the shape. So you select these three, and then after that, you can say, hey, where do I want it to size from? Like the left side, the right side. Let's do it from the left side. Then I'm going to say left. But before I do that, I can adjust margins. By the way, I'm also going to add colors, but ignore that. It doesn't work right now. So you can say, hey, I'm going to add like maybe 20 or like 30 pixels to the left and maybe 30 pixels to the right, and maybe like 20 to the top and 20 to the bottom. Okay, something like that, and then you can run it, and it creates it. Super cool. You can, you know, make more changes. You realize, hey, maybe his name is too small because he's great. You gotta, you know, make it bigger, and it goes bigger. And then you can say, hey, I need to animate this. You know, the client wants it now, or they wanted it yesterday. So then what you do, you animate the X, right? Well, I press center. So let's do center left, right? So now let's do center or bottom center right here. So no, I'm gonna play around with this center. So that's what it was before. Let's go to the left side. Left, okay. So right here, and then I'm going to, by the way, the reason why I can't, because the monitor is so far away, it's kind of hard to see here. So then you can animate this, and notice the mask has been applied just like we selected it here, right? The mask, the text is being masked by this new shape, which is good, and it's using a set mat, which is awesome. And it is parented. You can select this shape and you can move it around, or not the shape, the text, and you can see the shape is automatically parented because we picked that, right? But now I can create some keyframes. I can select this shape, maybe on the X, I can size it, you know, from here. Let me press U to reveal all my keys. You know, instantly you can create something in no time. So let's do some easing. You know me, I'm huge on easing. I did a presentation just on easing once. True story. All right, so something like that, right? You can be like, boom, and we have a lower third. And then if you want to animate this out, you just select this, paste it, invert it, right? And let's do this, maybe some kind of easing right here. So you can see in no time, boom, we created a lower third and we're out. And obviously this tool created it. Now, imagine this, you know, doing something like this without smartREKT. I mean, it can take you a long time. It definitely requires some rigging. It requires all kinds of stuff. So I'm just kind of showing you my work in progress. As you saw earlier, things were breaking, and I'm still not done with a lot of, like I finished it this morning at 3 in the morning, and but I am excited where it's going. I'm excited that it's more UI heavy. Before, you know, we had a drop-down menu. You can quickly create a shape based on where you click, right? And there you have it. And again, it works on 3D. You can type something that's 3D. Let's see. Let's make it, you know, we'll apply all of this. And there you go. It's working. You can adjust all that stuff. You can select multiple objects and do all kinds of stuff. You can also do it on shapes. For example, let me show you this. So let me get rid of all of these. All right, so let's draw like a bunch of shapes. Obviously, it's one shape, right? So we have all these shapes. I can select this shape layer. And by the way, before you had to center, we had buttons, you had to center the anchor point and then apply it. So none of that applies anymore. You can just run it as is. You don't even have to center anything. I'll show you here in a second. So for example, I can create a shape. As you can see, it's created. Then I can go back into this shape right here. And if I move it, you can see it, you know, adjusts. You can create interesting stuff with it. And that takes no time. All expressions. And by the way, you can take our course on expressions at ukramedia.com/expressions. That's how I create these things, expressions and scripting. But let me show you one more thing. So before, the old version of smartREKT, if you type something like ukramedia, and if you apply it, you had to first center the anchor point. We had a button here, you would click it and it would center it. But now you can put anchor point anywhere. And just to show you that you don't have to do that anymore. And then you can, you know, say something like this, it creates it. And as you can see, it centers it to the text. It still has an anchor point wherever you clicked on, right? It applies it in there. So you can size it from there. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do rounding. You can do skew. And you can attach it to other objects. So a lot of cool stuff here for sure. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the whole presentation. I just wanted to show you that a lot of you have been asking on this, like a live text aspect of things, like how can I add more, you know, use smartREKT, but have the ability that when I apply to a text, that not only does it applies it to the text, but also it will change as I type something else. And I think I'm almost there. It's, as you can see, it's working. But if you don't want that, for example, if you have a text, let's say Sergei, hold on, let me use somebody else's. Dwayne, we're going to use your name. Here you go. So if you want to create a shape that is maybe has some 20 pixels on, space on top and the bottom, and then maybe 30 on each side. So if you want to create this without having that ability to, like, I want to type something, but I don't want the shape to change. I want it to stay static the whole time. So just uncheck all of that stuff, especially this one right here. Uncheck it, and then obviously select it and run it however you want to. If you want your anchor point to be in the center, on the left side, just click on it, and it creates it. So now you can change the text, and there you have it. It will not, do anything, but you still have option to adjust things in here. You can, make size, crank it up a bit more. Again, it's definitely a useful tool. I hope you can see it. I know many of you already use it. So if you purchase this, you get it for free. The update is going to be there. In fact, probably next week, I'm going to give you the beta version, those of you that purchased. But if you want to check it out, ukramedia.com/smartREKT. We appreciate your support, but that's where I'm heading. This is what smartREKT is going to look like. And let's see what you guys are saying. Dwayne, you are famous. Hold on, let's make other people famous here. You are famous for being famous. All right, here you go. So any questions? How many people actually use smartREKT? I know a lot of you use it. So if you want the title, oh Lord, is there to be another color? Run it twice. Not sure what you mean by that. You can run, you can create a smartREKT on top of a smartREKT on top of smartREKT. I mean, you can create stuff. Again, it's based on selection, and it also works on images. And actually, I haven't tried it. Let's see this live. So let's do something like, obviously it's a raster, and it gives you trouble when you take a raster and make it something that's not 100%, right? So usually expressions break, right? You have to make sure this scale property is set at 100%. But let's see if this works. Yep, it works. It applied margins. So yeah, it works with rasters. It works with just about anything. But I just need to make sure that it's working flawlessly, as you saw it earlier. Not sure what I did there, but it broke it. All right. Daniel does, and I know you do, because didn't you make a tutorial on it? I'm pretty sure you have. Rui, start to use smartREKT. Yeah, you should. I use it all the time. Honestly, I created this tool because I needed it. I mean, how many times do you spend creating things just in general? For example, you create a graphic, you say like player, or maybe let's do title 1, right? I mean, how many times we've done this? Maybe like a bulletin of some sort, or some kind of points. Maybe you have like text here, and then text there, and then text here, and maybe a bunch more. So just to show you an example, you can select this, maybe align them a bit more, something like that, right? And then you want to create a shape that's like kind of borders every single one of them. And again, you select them, go over here, maybe get all of these features turned on, adjust your margins, whatever you want to do to them, and go to work. And as you can see, it creates it. I mean, you can change the text, do whatever you want. It adjusts it, it will adjust it, and you can animate it, do whatever you want to it. Again, it's super awesome. I just don't see why it's not useful. I mean, it saves you time. You can quickly, again, if you want to round some stuff, you can round them. You can say, hey, I can do some rounding corners, and maybe, I don't know, extend on top or something. I don't know. So I try to think of those options, like what, like for example, I use it for things like, I'll show you here in a second. Let me undo all of this. Let me show you what I use it for. So I created this, for example, and let me zero everything out. All right, so something like that, no margins at all. So I'm going to create maybe on top. So it creates this, but then I can move it down. Well, let me undo this because I don't want mask. So I don't want it to apply mask. So I'm going to get rid of it. So something like this, and I can move it down. And on the Y, I can just turn it off and adjust my own size, right? So now I created an interesting kind of supporting element for my text that I can type anything I want, right? I mean, you can get creative with it. You can say something like ukramedia.com. And again, to set something up like this wouldn't take you a couple seconds like it did me. And yeah, it's super cool. What do we got here? It saves time, it saves lives. That's a good slogan. I can live with that. Nice update, Greg. Thank you. Pueblo. I do not use it, but I think I must start using it. Yeah. Dwayne. I use it every single day. Can you tab from box to box in the UI now? I'm not sure what you mean from box to box. On a tab. Saves me time. Can you let me know what you mean tab box to box? Oh, you're talking about... Oh, and there's a new update. 0. Oh. You know, that's something else I actually wanted to ask you guys. So I was going to add buttons to center the anchor point to the center of the shape. Then I was going to add another one to move the shape to the center of the anchor point. And then the third one is actually funny you asked. I was going to do 0 all margins or something like that to where you can quickly do that. So, but you know, with script design, you can get pretty hefty with stuff. Like, you know, you can get crazy on stuff. But then I realized sometimes less is more. And because you know we want to add all these new tools to it, but then you know sometimes you don't use it for a while and you get back into it. It takes time to readjust. Like, oh, how to use this again? That's why I got rid of things to where you had to center the anchor point first before you run it. I mean, even I forgot about this. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to center the anchors, and so I got rid of that feature and made it more UI instead of doing the drop-down menu. So you can quickly, again, anytime you have to do more than a few clicks to get something done, it's just too much time, I think, personally. I haven't used it, but I definitely will. Anthony, awesome. The number boxes. I'm still, I know, you know, I've been up, well, I went to bed at 3 a.m., so I'm a little slow, so I might be not catching something here. To set value back to default. And by default, what do you mean by default, like in here or default in there? Because you can reset it, I think. Well, no, you can't. You can't do that. Yeah, something like that would be good. But I also want to do a to where you can click on it, and obviously it doesn't work. I'll have an icon. I was just testing it out. At first, you create a, you know, kind of a button that doesn't look that nice, and then you'll eventually create a UI for it. But to try things out, I was gonna create like a color to where you pick a color, because by default it comes with this orange. And Bill from California, which I don't know if he's here or not, he mentioned it to me. I'm like, dude, it's so annoying, this orange color. Like, you got to do something about it. So I was thinking about just click over here and the thing will pop up and you pick a color or type a color in there. So that might be added on. I think that would be useful. So that way you're not guessing. And so yeah. And by the way, before I forget, if you are thinking about purchasing this, I do have a promo code that you can use. And it's this one. If you just type live, and I think it's like set for 24 hours, $10 or something like that. So if you want to get it, go for it. I normally don't do it, but I always forget to do promo code. We hardly ever do promo codes. But if you want it, I want you to have it. It's a great tool, and it's $10. You can purchase. What is it we have on the store that's $9? I can't remember what it was, but we have something that's $9. So you can just use it to buy something without spending your own money. Anyway. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, let me go back to, 1 second. Let's go back to small. I think I know what you're talking about now. Watch this. Look at this logo transition. Wait for it. All right. So I guess, yeah, you talk about like a tab key to go. So you can go between this and this. For some reason, it doesn't go to the next one, which I need to look into that. You can do like 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. But it doesn't. And another thing, Tim Thiessen, you guys, I'm sure if you followed me here, you know who Tim Thiessen is. He's been a mentor of mine, an amazing guy. He's actually the one that helped me. He's the one that came up with the name smartREKT, actually. He had a big influence, and he always wanted to have this name option to put, to type your own name. And I remember I always hated it. I'm like, Tim, can I take it away? We don't need it. And he always wanted it, and I left it in there just for Tim. So this is here to stay. It'll never move. It will always be here. So anyway, Blender, Brad. Yeah, Blender. Hey, what do you guys think about Blender? I mean, again, I love it. We created a course. You should check it out. ukramedia.com/Blender. You should use that Blender or the promo code live. The real link above, not ending in shop. Oh, I'm not sure. All right, so what else? Wow, nice. Thanks. Can't see progress in image. So I saw that comment come up. So you're saying the template that I created in Blender, you can't save it? It sounds like a Blender issue. If I were you, I would re-download Blender or something like that. Definitely check that out. So presentation is over. We're just kind of I'm talking to you guys now. So if you have any questions, go for it, go nuts. Just keep in mind that I'm a little low on sleep, so if I start speaking Russian, I'm sorry. Cool story about Tim. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not crazy about this name feature. I always felt like it took up too much space, but Tim loved it, and he wanted it, and actually I took it. I'll tell you a story. I took it out. I eventually said, that's it, Tim, I'm going to take it out. And I took it out. And, and then I could tell Tim was like, forget it, I'll just do it myself. Or give me the code, I'll add it in for myself. And then I added it in the next morning, and I told him about it. And then he told me, he was like, hey, thanks for keeping that in. And honestly, that's one of the last things Tim told me. And then the next day he passed away. So, yeah. But that's why that's going to stay here. I'd love to promo code for the scripts course since $. Nice, use it. Hey, you can use it on all of them. So if you're tuning in, let me do that again. We don't do promo codes, but I decided to do today. Watch this. If you want to use it, you can use it in our shop. I think $10. Hey, we have a what was it that we have in our shop that's like $10? Control it. That's what it is. Control it. So you can just download a script that we have there for free at $10. So go for it. Much appreciated, Anthony. Awesome. Ray. Hi, guys. What's up, Ray? Acosta. I think that's how you pronounce it. Tudor. Sorry, I'm so terrible at pronouncing name. When you change the anchor point of the text, an expression will be added to the anchor point. So no. All right, let me show it to you. So for example, I type something. All right. And then you can select this. And obviously, I'm going to select this, press A, so you can see the anchor point. So this is what you're talking about. When you run it, I'm going to, highlight all of them. And let's add some spacing, tab spacing. I do need to get that tab feature going. So this is why I love doing live. Like that's where I get to get like live feedback from you guys, which I normally don't get. So that's awesome. So now when you push it, you can see that anchor point is not moved. In fact, let me prove my point. So I'm going to move it way over here. So text anchor point is way out here. When you run it, it ignores it, and it still works. You can still change the text. I'm telling you, it's magic, and it will work. And this code actually, sometimes when you do smartREKT at time, when you use things like J, it usually doesn't adjust. Well, it does now. So you can adjust. That's another change. So everything's working well. Can't see it. Okay. We just see it. Oh, dang it. I did it again. 1 second. I've done this once again. All right, let me do this again. Boom. Logo. All right, let me show this again. I've done this before. You would think I would learn. Let me get rid of all of this. All right, so I'm adding a text. Let me, who was it that asked again? Let's see. Was it? I think, yeah. Hold on one second. Let me add, okay. So I'm going to add the text. Boom. And look, here's the anchor point. I'm going to put it way out over here. I'm going to put the anchor point. Everybody can see this. Okay, good. And there's the anchor point. That's the value. You can see it's way out there. So when I run the script, when I go over here, when I run it, you can see that it worked fine. The anchor point of this text is still floating out there, but it's working. And I can change the text. Everything's working as well. So I can't believe I did this again. Like, I've done this before to where I did like a whole, like I talked for like 5 minutes and forgot to switch screens. I know. Can't make this stuff up. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Only a human after all. Thank you. All right, any other questions? So that's where I'm at. I'm excited about this. Do you use OBS? Yes, I do. In fact, I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. Ta-da! Check this out. So that's where I do the whole, this is the start screen. You know, I can push it live. I can cut or I can transition. I can do logo transition. I can go to promo. I can fade it in. Boom. I can go out of it again. So that's kind of cool. You kind of load it up in here and you push it. So I'm doing it all in here, but sometimes you're thinking that's what people are seeing, or, you know, when you did this, that's what I did. I thought you guys were seeing this, but you were seeing that. And you kind of get confused sometimes. Anyway, yeah, OBS, and I do have like a transition loaded up for the wipe. So you can click on it, and boom. Yeah, it's super cool. Love it. All right, so you guys are seeing this. I want to make sure. All right. Okay, Brad, that answered your question. How are we doing on time? Any other questions? Oh, and by the way, if you go into Adobe MAX this year, I'll be doing some labs. I'll be doing 2 labs. One lab with Rob De Winter from Netherlands. That guy is super talented. So he's doing. We're going to be teaming up together. It's a pre-lab, which I'll be showing how to use expressions, external data, how to create a weather type, like a forecast for the whole week. You adjust the text and everything gets adjusted. So I'll be showing that, and then I'll be doing 2 more labs, which like one lab like 4 or 2 times, and then session like 4 times. That's gonna be fun. And lab's gonna be on After Effects for Premiere users, and then session's gonna be on. It's similar to NAB presentation that I did. I'll be talking about how I use expressions to speed up Fox Sports' like a workflow and, you know, rigging elements and stuff to that nature, and just basically wrap it up by showing how to do it. So it'll be fun. So if you're gonna be at the Adobe MAX, I'm a little slow. Definitely hit me up. Sign up for those sessions. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Rob is awesome. So you know who he is, right? He's an amazing guy. He made it in the top 20 presenters for Adobe MAX, which, you know, I'm honored to be next to him. He's a great guy. I am a follower since SetMat tutorial. Thank you for the help. Oh, yeah, that was a SetMat. Man, that was way back. I remember when people didn't know what SetMat was. Control It has been downloaded. Awesome. Hey, use it. I haven't. That was probably one of my first scripts that I wrote. So I hope you find it useful. Do you have Blender AE courses? Yes, I do actually. We have a Blender course. The link to it is at the bottom of this video, where I teach you how to do a motion graphic sports bumper. I used to work for Fox Sports. I used to create those like every day, and I show you how to do that using Blender, which is super awesome. It's like $35, 3 hours or so long, and I show you everything and all the shortcuts, and it's super great. You should check it out. You should use the promo code for it. All right, so okay, I've checked my Blender so many times and it's only. Well, I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it because I haven't heard from anyone else. Blender, you know, it's in beta right now, so it's kind of tough to say when it goes wrong, because they do still have a lot of bugs that they're trying to fix. So anyway. All right, any other questions? Man, you guys are still sticking with me. Thank you so much, man. Let's see. Adobe Max. Yes. So Dax, are you going? Ray. Ray, you are After Effects rockstar. I don't know about that, but thank you. Anthony. Oh wow. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about the. Okay. Ariel, hi. We're wrapping it up, so you're kind of late. I'm sorry, but. All right, Sergey, you should join Max group. Where's that at? Tell me about it. I'll be there. And by the way, Vladimir's coming with me this time. I did Adobe Max last year. Was a lot of fun. I met a lot of you, obviously, but Vlad didn't come with me. But this time he's gonna come, and I'm excited about that because, we kind of do things together, do life together, and it's always it's easier when he's next to me because he's he's a great help. Yeah, Dax, give me the info about the Max group, and I'll join it. It will be a quick thing for sure. It's very true. Yeah, well, I don't know if you can use it into 2.79, but you can try it, see if it'll load up. But obviously, was Eevee introduced in 2.79? I'm not sure. But anyway. And if you're late, by the way, I want to show you how I design things. Like when I create like UI for scripts and stuff, I kind of just try to play around in Illustrator. Obviously it's messy. I'm not, I'm still trying to stick this logo somewhere. And here, I'm trying to see where, if you have an idea where to stick that logo, because the reason why I want to be able to click on the logo so you can, pop-up screen will come up so you can read more about the script. In fact, let me see the old one. I'm not sure if I still have it. Is that this one? Like something like that, right? This will pop up so you can read more about it. But I don't like this, so maybe a logo, you can click on the logo. That would be kind of cool. And the color, I'm going to create like an icon for the color, and I'll stick it somewhere in here too. Space is definitely, designing stuff is so cool. Man, coding is so awesome. Especially the perspective when you work on something 3D, and then next day you're doing some coding, and then After Effects, and back to 3D, back to After Effects. I love it, man. It never gets old. Oh, OBX, yes. OBX is a cool tool, and it's free, just like Blender. Yeah, you can use transition. You have to set it up using like a LumaMat, I think. All right. What? Was it hard back in kindergarten to spell Prakhnevsky? That's a great question. And honestly, our last name, I say our because Vladimir is part of this as well. It's KH was added when we moved to America in 2000. When I was 12 years old, we moved to America. I didn't speak a word of English, and they just kind of assumed that's how you spell it. But usually in Ukraine, that's where I'm from, Kiev, Ukraine, we pronounced it Prakhnevsky. So KH is not there. It's just H. Prakhnevsky. But a lot of Westerners just struggle with just pronouncing H. So that's why they just kind of put KH. But honestly, I wish they would just get rid of H completely, because when you read my last name, it's like Prakhn. People have like a brain freeze when they see those three letters in that order, and they just freak out. But if you get rid of like at least H, then it would be Prakhnevsky. I'm okay with that. I would much rather have that than KHN. Trust me, when we played soccer, I remember I was number 11. My twin brother Vladimir was number 7. And when they would do like announcements before the game, they do like the number 5, and they would just pronounce your name. And they would get to Vlad's name, they're like, Vladimir. And then, when they're down there, thank God. And then they get to my name, I'm like, oh my God, he's back. So that was always fun. We had a great time. Smart logo just below the color button, like down here. All right. Well. Okay. Did you send me? I saw you send me. Did you send me to personal? I'll check it. Dax, are you presenting, Dax? And I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, we already wrapped up. I'm just talking to people here, so sorry. You can probably go back and rewatch. Yeah, and by the way, there is a delay. So if I'm waiting, when I ask something, usually I have to wait a couple of seconds. So let me see what wow, We've been at it for a while. I'm going to wrap it up here in the next 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, go for it. And again, smartREKT is awesome. I'm going to, if you've purchased it in the past, I'll probably next week, if it's stable, I will release it, at least beta version, so you guys can play around and see what you think. And if you find any issues with it, but hopefully you won't. Hopefully it'll be fleshed out and ready to go. Oh, cool. Well, sweet, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. That's awesome. Dax. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. Gotcha. Thanks, Cecile. I'm sorry. I know what it's like not to be able to pronounce or to have your name mispronounced. So again, I apologize for butchering names because I'm not really good at it. And I struggle with my own, as you saw. My kids, bless their hearts. All right. Well, again, if you're just tuning in, I did show a promo code, which I'll show it again. If you guys want to, purchase the smartREKT or something like that, right now, obviously it's the old one. But if you want to, you can do that. And I'll show you how I'm doing. Well, no, I'm not going to read. Okay, here we go. Boom, promo code. If you want to use it today only, I think it expires. You can buy or just get Control It, which is, I think promo code's $10. So you can just get Control It for free at ukramedia.com/shop. Check it out. All right, Brad. Awesome. Okay. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I know I'm always like a last minute kind of thing. Sometimes I'm working on something and I'm like, hey, I'm going to share with you guys what I'm working on, because a lot of times when we create stuff, you don't get to see like in-betweens until we're done, right? You don't get to see like this, that me fleshing it out and like trying to make sense how it might look, away from the computer, because I'm tired of, working on a computer. And so yeah, let me go back to small screen. Un momento. Let's do this. Boom. All right. All right. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Wednesday to all of you. And I think it's Wednesday. For me, it's always another day. So thank you for tuning in. If you, again, want to check out our expressions course, do so at ukramedia.com/expressions. You can use our live promo code. And a Blender course, which I am really excited about Blender. I'll be honest with you. I really love doing it. It was like the creating the whole thing was, we created in about 2 weeks, because I just had so much fun just researching and learning Blender as well, because it's 2.8 where the new version came out. A lot of things were changed, so that was kind of nice. It gave me a reason to learn. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful Wednesday. But until next time, my name is Sergei Praknevsky, and this is ukramedia.com, and check out this ad right here.